hot.
Hello and welcome back, Big Nick Burt with the Big Nick Energy, baby. Look at we got RJ Barrett, home whites, feeling good, watching that Summer League championship game, and you cannot say Sims and Grimes and McBride aren't exciting young pieces to the New York Knicks. I know we lost the game. It was a little lackluster on the offensive end. The threes weren't falling, and that's pretty much all it took to get us behind, and we just never got back. But that being said, Sims, Grimes, McBride, Yoshimoto, the coach, all looking really good. Ferran Hunt looking pretty exciting too. A lot of young players, a lot of young coaches. The whole organization, I think, is looking good. This next season is going to be really excited. I'm excited as a longtime Knicks fan, and I know you guys probably are too. So we got a lot of stuff going on with the Summer League, a lot of talk about trades. And now I got to bust out the RJ jersey. I had to bust out the RJ jersey because, of course, when we're talking big money trades, we're talking big money players. And one of those guys, at least that we're hoping for, who's going to be one of those guys is RJ Barrett. So if you don't think he's there yet, fine. And that's a good argument. I'm not gonna take you to town over that because yeah, he's an up and comer, but he's got a lot of potential, and we like to see him on the team. But that being said, a lot of talk about could he be included in a trade? Could he be included in a 3-team trade? So let's take a second. Let's listen to this. Little excerpt I took out from the Big Nick Energy Twitter space that aired just yesterday or the day before.
So I'm a little worried that RJ might be thrown into that trade offer, man. I really think it might wind up being RJ, Grimes, Topping, Fournier, 4 or 5 first-round picks.
You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind, Angelo. You think it's going to take that many players? Like 2 of those players is worth Donovan Mitchell. Straight up, no picks.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I really think that I don't know.
RJ Barrett is worth Donovan Mitchell straight up.
I don't. How could you say that, bro?
Whoa, Vin. I think Angelo had a good point. It's going to take a lot to make the move happen. He doesn't want to see RJ go, but he might be included, especially if it's a 3-team trade. But my guy, Vin, come on, Vin. You think Obi and RJ are worth Donovan Mitchell straight up? That's a homer take if I've ever seen one. But hey, listen, I'm not going to say I disagree because I think you're kind of right. I like RJ's potential. I like Obi's potential. I like that he's from New York. He's got a lot of extenuating circumstances that make me want to keep him over trading him. So to say RJ and Obi are worth Donovan Mitchell, I think that's a little homer, but at the same time, that's where our head's at as fans. We want to see our young guys develop, and we put a lot of stock in them because we see them grow, we see the potential, and I think that's a beautiful thing and something to definitely look forward to, especially as these trades start coming through.
I heard this report that they're trying to get rid of Randall's contract for Russ. What's this all about?
Trade Russ. Was it? I think it's trade Russ to the Knicks, drop or cut Russ, and then the Lakers are going to send a pick to the Jazz as a third partner. I think that's what they're trying to go for.
Oh, so that's the third team? That's what's going to happen?
Yeah. But
so
it's
I saw that early today.
We're not going to get the pick. It's just like we would give up like one player or like a couple less picks, and that's kind of why we went the third person. Because like I said, it's giving up a lot for one person. That
Miles, was this?
I don't think he's going to
Donovan Mitchell doesn't go through. Is this if Donovan Mitchell trade doesn't go through, or this?
No, that's if the trade goes through.
No, that's if the trade goes through because they need that third team because we don't want to give up as many assets. Leon's playing this smart.
I like that. That makes me think we're not done making moves if they're looking to dump Julius's contract.
So this next excerpt here, Knicksolas, he's talking about getting rid of Randall's contract, getting a 3-team trade going maybe with Russell. That would include the Lakers and Russell Westbrook and the Jazz. I would assume us getting Mitchell and Russ either getting waived or going to a 3rd team, whatever. And Randall being involved with that too. I think that's a very interesting trade package and not one that has really been talked about a lot. A lot of people want to say, oh, Fournier, Rose. Grimes and some picks, and I think that's a fair package. But we think we get too hung up on who's on our team and what we can do, and not really thinking about there are all these other teams that we can also make some deals happen, some trades happen. So this is a really interesting take to say, hey, we might dump Randall and that do the Lakers a favor, which I know if you've watched my videos, I talk about doing the Lakers a favor a lot, which I think they owe us one now from last season. So that could be in the mix. I really got my eyes open for these 3-team, 4-team trades. And it's not so much of we'll give you 3 guys and 5 picks. It's more like we'll give you 1 guy and 2 picks and somebody else will fill in the rest. So that's kind of exciting. I think it's a very level-headed take and a nice rounder view of the entire league and not just looking at it through the lens of, a Knicks fan.
Please, y'all. Please take Russ from us. Please take him.
Oh my God, we got a Lakers
Please take
fan
Russ.
here.
What's up, bro?
What's wrong with Russ?
Matt, what do you think is wrong with Russ?
We all know it. We've watched the Lakers last season. We know the Lakers. They don't want Russell Westbrook. It's a bad fit. Whatever the case is, whatever your opinion is of it, obviously it's not working in LA. Could it work somewhere else? And could it work on the Knicks? I don't know. I don't want it to work on the Knicks, to be perfectly honest. I don't think he really fits with what we got going on, but it could happen. It could happen. It could work. And until we see this trade actually come through, I'm going to entertain just about every idea just because keep those ideas coming, keep your mind working, and don't get so caught in the black and white of we trade X and get Y. It's a big league. There's a lot of different moves that can take place. So this is a really interesting idea to think about. Russell Westbrook, 3-team trade. And then it gets us right into this segue of Kyrie Irving and really the whole problem with the league, and not the problem, but the whole crutch of having a championship caliber team is having a ball handler, a facilitator, a floor general, right? Kyle Lowry, Steph Curry. Who else? Who else do we got out there? Championship league. Kyrie Irving, as his antics can be off the court, on the court, he's a very valuable asset.
I tell you what, if the Knicks threw the same exact offer they're throwing at the Jazz, throw it at Kyrie Irving, I wouldn't be happy. I wouldn't want him on the Knicks. I'd rather Donovan Mitchell over Kyrie right now.
But here in this Twitter space, we see, some of our guys at Big Nick Energy talking about the best ability is availability, and do we want a Kyrie Irving who has the very star potential? He has got superstar potential, but he doesn't play, and he's got some things going on, whatever. Versus a Russell Westbrook who might be a square peg in a round hole, right? He might not really fit, but he's at that level. And because those guys are at that level, you take them with their bruises, warts included, right? We take them with their problems because the actual pool of high level point guards is really, really low. So that's why Jalen Brunson got paid what he got paid, and why there was so much fanfare and so much attention put onto it, because even though he's not like this superstar, like amazing point guard, he is a competent point guard, and he's shown that at that level he can really hang. And that is very, very valuable when you're looking at, say, the Summer League Championship game, where all they really needed was someone with some ball handling skills to like cut through the defense and make them mix it up. So that's a big part of basketball. It's a big part of New York Knicks basketball. And these guys at Big Nick Energy are really, looking at all these aspects. So if you haven't tuned into these Twitter spaces, I really, really advise you to check in when they're scheduled. They're up with warning. You can plan your day around it or look at the recording or whatever. But if you want to hop in, get your opinion heard, I definitely recommend it. Check out these Big Nick Energy spaces on Twitter. And I'm going to be showing up into them too, sooner or later. But as it is right now, let's just break these down. I like looking at these little sound bites because it gives a voice to the people, and it lets us give a little bit of bigger idea on what the fans are thinking. And the fans, they just want a competent basketball team. And no, there's a lot of discussion about, does Donovan Mitchell actually move the goalposts? Does it actually, get you closer up the ladder to be a championship team? And even if he doesn't get you to the finals, even if he doesn't get you to that championship, he does get you into the playoffs consistently. He's going to get you into the playoffs consistently. He's a good player. That being said, defense is maybe a question, and they did talk about this on the space, but sometimes the offense outweighs the defense. If you're scoring more than they can ever compete with, do you really need the stops? And I think we've seen that a lot with Golden State, is that they're just going to outscore you. So there's two sides of the basketball, and we definitely have to weigh in on all of them. But if you're looking for, a nice level-headed take, a nice round take, looking at the entire league, looking at all the different aspects, all the different trades that can happen, definitely check out these Big Nick Energy Twitter spaces, especially with Angelo, who runs the things. This guy knows all the different pieces of the Knicks organization, not just the FO, not just the players, but he knows the scouts, the agents, the trainers. He knows all these different things. He's more of he's a New York Knicks purist, where he's looking at all the different aspects of what it takes to make this team. So he knows these guys inside and out, and he's talking from a fan perspective and from a highly educated perspective, who is really in tune with the happenings of the league as a whole. He called the Leon Rose, Jalen Brunson thing a year ago, at least, because he knew the ties between CAA, Rose, and Brunson's dad. And, the writing was on the wall. It's like this is Godfather or something. They like summer in the Hamptons together. It's a whole thing. But anyways, if you're interested in that stuff, Big Nick Energy on Twitter, Spaces. We're doing it pretty frequently now, just to talk some chatter up and get some ideas out there. So if you like what I'm doing on this page, if you like my ideas and you want to share into the conversation, definitely jump in there and give those guys a listen. But for right now, for me over here, Big Nick Burt, I'm excited to get Donovan Mitchell. I think it's going to happen. I'm kind of, what's the word? I'm kind of tempering my emotions when it comes to our homegrown talent, like Grimes, like Quickly, Toppin, McBride, Barrett, because I understand, you got to break eggs to make an omelet, but, I just can't help being attached to my guys. So while they're still here, I'm going to root for them always. I'm going to always, rep their jerseys and just be excited that they're on the team. But, you got to open your eyes up to the bigger perspective. And the bigger perspective is there are moves to be made and there is a championship at the end of it. So we're hoping we're making the right moves. Let me know what you guys think about Donovan Mitchell. If you think he fits the system, if you think we got to make some major moves to make it work, or if you think that Mitchell, RJ, Randall, Robinson, and Brunson can really make it happen. Or, do we keep Grimes? Do we have to trade McBride? Does IQ come in? All these questions and so few answers. So I appreciate you guys coming through the channel. I appreciate you guys bearing with me while we get some Spaces commentary over here. And I appreciate you guys enjoying the Knicks the way I do, because honestly, what's the team without the fans? So I appreciate everybody coming through. And I'm looking forward to a very good season upcoming. It wasn't the best season last year, but I had a lot of fun. So I'm hoping for more of that this year. And a big part of that is locking up Mitchell Robinson, getting a nice point guard, Jalen Brunson, maybe making a star trade for Donovan Mitchell, Randall coming back into form, RJ, finally stepping up and becoming that player we know he can be. Listen, there's a lot of excitement over here for the New York Knicks. All right. So thank you for stopping by. Keep an eye on that Big Nick Energy Twitter for their spaces. And, just follow us Instagram, Twitter, and just tune in, see what we're doing, making memes. We're talking trades and just excited to be Knicks fans. Thank you all.
Bert knows basketball, y'all.